The whiskey spreads across white tablecloth like blood. 3 bodyguards draw weapons. A woman in a cream Chanel dress sits frozen, her perfect mask cracking. And the waitress, who just knocked over a $340 bottle of Chateau Margaux? She's the only reason Seoul's most dangerous man is still breathing. But 30 seconds earlier, nobody knew her name. Nobody even saw her face. "These people don't tip," the hostess muttered, watching Keisha refill water glasses. "Why does Mrs. Kim keep scheduling her for the private tables?" Keisha stood in Sariwan's VIP section with a wine bottle worth more than her monthly rent. Dark skin glistening under crystal chandeliers, crisp uniform, invisible. Just another struggling single mother in their gilded world. They looked through her like glass, and that's exactly what made her dangerous. Picture it. Chicago winter cold pressing against floor-to-ceiling windows. Soft jazz drifting from hidden speakers. Designer perfume mixing with seared wagyu. The clink of crystal against marble. Her fingers wrapped around the wine bottle. $340, the label read. Cold condensation against her palm. Her daughter's daycare bill flashed through her mind. $340 wouldn't even cover a week. The air tasted expensive. Smelled like old money and new secrets. Table 7, Jinwoo Park. The man who owned half of Chicago's waterfront. The other half belonged to bodies in Lake Michigan. What they didn't know, Keisha Thompson wasn't just a waitress surviving on tips. She was a woman who'd fled Memphis with a 5-year-old in the dead of night. A woman who'd outsmarted men who trafficked girls across state lines. A woman who'd learned to read danger the way sharks smell blood. Those survival instincts? They were about to save a mafia boss's life. And the shooting that would happen in this restaurant 20 minutes later? That was the price of seeing what everyone else missed. Her first day at Sariwan, Mrs. Kim, the manager, stood in the kitchen, arms crossed. The private tables don't complain. They don't speak English. You smile, you serve, you disappear. Understand? Keisha's voice, soft but unmistakably American, with a Memphis accent she'd never lose. "I understand more than you think." Mrs. Kim's eyebrows lifted. This girl had more spine than she'd expected. Everyone thought they knew this story. Struggling black waitress, rich Korean businessman, maybe a romance across class lines. Tale as old as time. They were wrong. This wasn't a love story. This was survival instinct meeting corporate warfare. A billion-dollar conspiracy wrapped in silk and poison. The white powder in his whiskey? That was just the beginning. When the truth came out, when his mother discovered the real plot, when rival families converged, when the bullets started flying, it would cost them everything. His father's empire, his fiancée's life, Keisha's safety. 300 wedding guests. You're about to witness the most dangerous chess game in Chicago, where every smile was strategy, every touch was betrayal, and somehow, impossibly, one invisible woman saw it all coming. But before we dive into how a wine spill became a massacre, drop a comment. Have you ever noticed something everyone else missed? Subscribe now, because when this gets bloody, you'll want to know how she survived. Keisha worked 3 jobs. Sariwan 4 nights a week. Hospital cleaning crew 2 mornings. Weekend catering when her daughter Zara stayed with her mother. Every dollar split 3 ways. Student loans from the nursing degree she never finished. Her mama's chemo bills. Zara's future. She'd fled Memphis 18 months ago. Zara's father, if you could call him that, ran with men who saw women as inventory. When Keisha grabbed her daughter and a duffel bag at 2 a.m., she knew she'd never look back. Chicago was supposed to be safe, anonymous, a place where a black woman could disappear into the crowd. But invisibility cuts both ways. What the Saudi One staff didn't know, Keisha had 3 years of nursing school before life imploded. She could read vitals, spot symptoms, recognize pharmaceuticals. She wasn't just competent. She was overqualified for every job she worked. But try explaining that to people who see your skin before your resume. Mrs. Kim bragged about her anyway. 2 years, never spilled a drink, never mixed up an order. That Thompson girl is better than my Korean staff. Keisha had learned long ago, be twice as good to be considered half as capable. I've never been invisible, Keisha thought, refilling water glasses. Most people can't see past my accent, my braids, my daughter's white father, who I refuse to name. Am I betraying something by being here? Serving people who'd never invite me to their table as a guest? Will Zara grow up thinking this is all we deserve? In her locker sat an old tablet with a cracked screen, a gift from her mother's church, loaded with nursing reference apps she still studied. She didn't know it yet, but that broken device held video evidence that would change everything. Because Saudi One had cameras, and Keisha had learned to access the staff security feed. Keisha approached with the Châtel Margaux. 48 hours until Jinwoo Park's wedding. The alliance marriage that would end 3 generations of bloodshed between the Park and Beck families. Min So sat beside him in cream Chanel. Perfect hair, perfect smile, engagement ring worth more than Keisha's life. Jinwoo's bodyguards flanked the table, 2 by the door, standard protocol. Keisha poured the wine. Her nursing training kicked in automatically. Observe, assess, notice anomalies. Min So's hand moved, a practiced flick, something white dissolving into amber liquid. Keisha's fingers went numb around the bottle. 3 years of pharmacology training screamed in her head. That wasn't sugar. That wasn't sweetener. That's pharmaceutical. Jinwoo reached for the glass. 30 seconds. Maybe less. The logical part of Keisha's brain. Walk away. You've got Zara. You've got your mama's chemo. You cannot afford to notice this. The reckless part, the part that grabbed her daughter and ran from Memphis, that part was already moving. She knocked over his drink. Whiskey spread like blood. Jinwoo's eyes snapped to hers, dark, calculating, measuring how much pain she could withstand. Min So made a small sound. Not surprise. Annoyance. I'm so sorry, Mr. Park. Keisha's voice didn't shake. Let me get you another... No. His word cut like a blade. Bring me water. Nothing else. Min So's smile was diamond sharp. Jinwoo, let her bring you proper whiskey. It's your bachelor celebration. I said water. He pulled away from Min So's touch. Keisha saw it. The crack in Min So's perfect mask. She knows he suspects something. And in 43 seconds, she's going to realize I'm the reason why. If you've ever caught someone in a lie, you know that look. Comment, I've seen it, if you understand. Keisha returned with sealed water, the kind you twist open in front of customers. Jinwoo's eyes followed every movement. His bodyguards shifted. They weren't watching the room anymore. They were watching her. You've worked here how long? 2 years, sir. You've never spilled a drink. Not a question. A statement. Not at the tables, Keisha said carefully. Until tonight. Min So stood abruptly. I need the restroom. eyes like winter locked on Keisha. Jinwoo, we'll discuss your suspicious nature when I return. The moment she's gone, Jinwoo gestured. Keisha leaned down. His voice, a whisper meant for corpses. If you're trying to blackmail me, choose your next words very carefully. Keisha's heart hammered, but her voice stayed steady. Your whiskey had something in it. I don't know what, but it wasn't there when I brought it. You're accusing my fiancé of poisoning me? I'm telling you what I saw. Silence stretched like razor wire. Then he said something that stopped her breathing. Her brother is Chulmu Baek. Keisha knew that name. Everyone in the Korean community knew it. The Baek family controlled the South Side. 3 generations of war with the Parks. The alliance marriage, she breathed, was her idea. Jinwoo's smile held no warmth. She approached my people 6 months ago, offered peace, offered herself. He looked toward the bathroom hallway. I should have known better than to trust a Baek with anything, including love. But Keisha caught something beneath the steel, something raw. He actually loves her. The wedding is in 2 days, Keisha said. 300 guests. Your families, city officials, a federal judge. She stopped. Her nursing brain connected the dots. Oh God, she's not just killing you. She's setting up a massacre. His eyes sharpened. Explain. You die at your own wedding from poison. Autopsy shows it happened over weeks. Small doses, undetectable until the lethal one. Her words came faster. Your family blames hers. Her family claims innocence, maybe blames your business rivals. Both families bring full crews to the wedding. Weapons, tensions, grief. One spark and everyone slaughters each other. The Baeks inherit both territories by Monday. Jinwoo stared at her like she'd spoken prophecy. You're not a waitress, he said slowly. What are you? A woman who's really good at staying alive. Was she right? Keep watching, because what happens next proves it. Jinwoo slid an envelope across the table. Take this. Quit. Disappear for a week. Somewhere far from Chicago. Keisha looked at it. Thick. Probably 6 months of her mother's chemo. But taking it meant something. Meant this was real. Meant she'd crossed a line. Why are you giving this to me? Jinwoo's voice dropped. Because you saw what my own people missed. Because you risked your life for mine when you had every reason to walk away. He paused. In my world, I'm surrounded by people who see my power. In your world, people see your skin. Maybe we're both invisible, he said quietly. Maybe that's why you see clearly. Min-seo returned. Mask perfect again. Shall we order dinner, darling? Keisha walked away, felt Min-seo's eyes burning into her back. She knows. She saw Jinwoo give me that envelope. Keisha was in the staff room, grabbing her coat, when Mrs. Kim appeared. Table 7 wants you back. Mr. Park specifically requested you serve their dinner course. Keisha's stomach dropped. Mrs. Kim. Now Keisha. This is it. Either he's protecting me, or I'm walking into my own execution. Keisha returned to find the table transformed. 4 more of Jinwoo's men had arrived. Min-seo sat surrounded, her smile frozen. Jinwoo gestured to Keisha. My fiancé would like to propose a toast. She's prepared something special. He slid a glass toward Min-seo, The whiskey she'd poisoned earlier. Still on the table. Still waiting. To our future, Monsieur. Please. I insist. Monsieur's face went white. No? Jinwoo's voice could freeze blood. Then let me tell you about the smart girl who saved my life tonight. He looked at Keisha. She could have walked away, could have let me die. Instead, she risked everything to slip me a warning. Monsieur's hand moved toward her purse. 3 guns materialized, pointed at her head. The wedding is cancelled, Jinwoo said softly. The war continues, and you'll never see sunrise. The restaurant exploded. Glass shattered, screams echoed. Someone kicked over a table. Keisha hit the floor. Training kicked in. Stay low, find cover, assess casualties. Bullets rained. The smell of gunpowder mixed with jasmine perfume. She crawled toward the kitchen. Her hands shook. Her ears rang. A hand grabbed her arm. Jinwoo. Blood soaked through his white shirt. Instead of running to his men, he pulled her behind the bar. Stay down, he hissed. You're shot. I'm fine. They're after her, not you. But his hands trembled. This man who'd faced bullets without flinching was shaking. Why didn't you let me run? Jinwoo looked at her. Really looked. Because I trust you. 4 words. Devastating. If this story has you hooked, subscribe, because what comes next is even more insane. They dragged Minso away screaming. Her perfect mask shattered completely. You'll regret this. My family will burn you alive. You'll never be safe. Jinwoo watched expressionless. But Keisha saw it, the flicker of pain beneath the ice. For just a moment, she saw a man who'd believed in love, who'd paid for it with betrayal. The police arrived. Statements, questions, suspicious eyes on Keisha. You're the waitress who knocked over the drink? Yes, sir. Quite a coincidence. Jinwoo's lawyer intervened. Ms. Thompson is a witness, not a suspect, unless you're charging her. They let her go, but Keisha knew she'd made enemies tonight. Keisha went home to her daughter, held Zara tight, smelled her baby shampoo, and felt tears burn her eyes. Mama, why are you crying? Just happy to see you, baby. But inside she was screaming. What have I done? What if they come for us? What if Zara pays for my choice? That night, Keisha couldn't sleep. She grabbed the old tablet from her bag, opened the Sariwan security app she'd installed months ago, just to check schedules. Nothing illegal. But tonight, she scrolled through camera footage. And what she found made her blood run cold. Minso had been poisoning Jinwoo for weeks. Keisha watched the footage. Minso's hand over and over, white powder in his wine, his coffee, his food. 17 instances in 6 weeks. She'd been killing him slowly. Keisha's hands shook. She had proof. Irrefutable proof. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Ms. Thompson, don't hang up. Jinwoo's voice. I need to see you. Tomorrow. Alone. Mr. Park, please. She'd never heard him say please. They met in Grant Park, public, safe. His bodyguards at a distance. Jinwoo looked different. Tired. Human. You saved my life, he said simply. I did what anyone would. No, you didn't. 20 people saw her. You were the only one who acted. Silence. Why? He asked. You have a daughter. You could have died. Keisha's voice cracked. Because I know what it's like to be killed slowly. to have someone you trust poison your life drop by drop. Zara's father, he didn't hit me, he just erased me, made me invisible, made me feel like I didn't matter. Tears burned. I saw her doing that to you, and I couldn't walk away. Jinwoo stared, then, "You're fired." Her heart sank. Because waitresses don't make enough. He slid a business card across the bench. "You start Monday. My head of security needs someone who notices things. Someone with good instincts." He paused. Someone who understands what it costs to choose survival over silence. $180,000 a year, health insurance, your mother's chemo covered, Zara's school paid for. Keisha couldn't breathe. Why? Because you're not invisible to me. I don't know your world, Keisha whispered. Then I'll teach you. I'm not your charity case. You're my conscience. Jinwoo's voice was steady. Stay. Always. That was 7 months ago. Keisha makes $180,000 a year now. Her mother's cancer is in remission. Zara attends the best private school in Chicago. And once a month, Jinwoo's assistant delivers an envelope, a thank you for the life she saved. Minso? Never seen again. Rumors say she's in a federal facility. The Beck family denied everything. The FBI found her burner phone and 17 wire transfers. The alliance died. The war reignited. But Keisha Thompson, the invisible waitress, became the woman Jinwoo Park trusts most. Sometimes the person who saves you is the one no one else sees. Sometimes courage looks like knocking over a glass of whiskey. And sometimes, just sometimes, being invisible your whole life means you're the only one who can see clearly. Was she the smart girl who noticed the poison, or the brave girl who refused to look away? Comment below. Would you have made the same choice? If you're still not subscribing, tell me why in the comments. What's holding you back? This channel is where broken becomes whole, where the invisible becomes seen. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Because some nights, Keisha still sees Minso's hand moving toward that glass. So practiced, so certain. And she wonders, how many people chose to look away? Don't be one of them. Hit that subscribe button.